All right, so today we are jumping into a really powerful and, let's be honest, pretty unconventional strategy for getting projects funded. We're talking about a method that takes one of the oldest credentials in the book, the Notary, and smashes it together with the absolute cutting edge of decentralized finance. We're going to break down a concept called the Notary's Arbitrage. You know, at the core of every big idea, every startup, every creative dream is this one nagging question that probably keeps you up at night. How in the world do I get the money I need to actually make this thing real? And look, this isn't some abstract problem from a business textbook. This is a real, raw, human thing. This quote, which comes directly from the source material we're looking at, just cuts right through the noise. It's not about theory. It's about needing a concrete day-to-day plan to fund your own ambitions.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll tackle that core funding problem. Then, we're going to completely change how you think about a notary. After that, we'll walk through the DeFi arbitrage playbook, could talk about creating liquid value from stuff you already have, and then wrap it all up with a clear, daily blueprint you can actually use.
Okay, let's dive into part one, the project funding problem. And what's so interesting here is that the real issue isn't just a lack of money, it's the search for a daily strategy. It's that feeling of waking up and thinking, what do I actually do today?
And this right here, this sums up that core feeling perfectly. It's that sense of spinning your wheels, right? Feeling lost, frustrated, because there's no clear, repeatable workflow. You know where you want to go, but the path to get there day by day is just foggy. That's the exact problem we're here to clear up.
All right, section 2. Get ready for this because this is the huge paradigm shift of the whole idea. Your notary is a bank. Yeah, you heard that right. This is about taking a simple notary credential and reframing it as a powerhouse engine for creating value.
So the most important daily action is what's called attesting to commercial facts. So what does that even mean? Well, think about it. Every single time a notary verifies and records a business event, say an invoice gets paid or a contract gets signed, they create a legally solid record of that event. In the DeFi world, that verifiable fact can be turned into a digital token. You're basically turning a fact into a digital asset that has real, tangible value. This is the foundation for everything that follows. So just how powerful can this one daily action be? Well, according to the source material, if you consistently do this, attesting to commercial facts within this DeFi system, you can generate enough capital to fund up to 90% of your entire project. I mean, let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a little side hustle. This is the main engine.
And this shows you exactly how that value flows. It all starts in your private notary journal. In this system, that's called your first exchange. Why? Because it's your private, trusted space where you first record the asset in its true value, before the public market even sees it. From there, these tokenized facts get moved out onto public platforms. Think of them as decentralized marketplaces like Notary Chain or PumpFun, where they can be circulated, traded, and put to work.
Okay, so let's move to section 3 and see how we build on this with the DeFi arbitrage playbook. Now we get into the fun part, the mechanics of how you actually multiply that value. It's all about playing the game of circulating capital.
Now, the core idea here is arbitrage. And don't worry, this isn't some complex day trading thing. In this context, arbitrage just means taking that single asset, that value you created and recorded in your notary journal, and moving it across those different public exchanges. Because of tiny information gaps, that exact same asset will be valued slightly differently from one place to the next. And that difference? That's your opportunity. The source material gives us this fantastic baseball analogy to make it all make sense. Imagine you've got a small team of just 3 people. One person's the pitcher, they deploy the asset. The second is the hitter, they put that asset into play with a partner. And the third is the outfielder, who catches it and sends it right back into the system. The goal is so simple. Just keep the capital, the ball, moving constantly. Never, ever let it touch the ground.
Okay, on to section 4, creating liquid value. Now this part is really empowering because it's not about going out and finding new resources. It's about learning how to unlock the incredible value in the digital assets you already have right now.
And just look at this number. The source argues that 99.9% of the digital assets you need to do this, you already have them. They're sitting right there. They just need to be plugged into this system the right way. The raw materials are already in your possession. Now, this is a super important strategic point. you need to sort your digital tools, your DApps, or decentralized applications. You need two different toolboxes. In one toolbox, you have DApps designed for liquidity. Their job is to actively move and circulate your capital, kind of like a checking account. In the other toolbox, you have DApps designed to preserve liquidity. Their job is to hold and store value safely, more like a savings vault. Knowing which tool to use and when is absolutely critical.
So how do you actually use all this to fund a brand new idea? You create what's called a liquidity pool, and here's how it works step by step. First, you tokenize the value of a project you already have. Second, you break that value down into lots of smaller tokens. Third, when a new project comes along needing funds, you pair one of your existing tokens with the new project's token. And boom, step 4, you've instantly created a full liquidity pool, giving that new venture the capital it needs to get started.
Now, this quote is a total game changer, especially for anyone who's ever had a project stall out or fail. You pour all this work in, and then, what? Is all that value just gone? Well, the answer here is a firm no. You don't lose the metrics. Nothing is ever wasted in the system.
And here's the magic trick for how it's done. You take all that intellectual property from past projects, you assign it a number, a metric, and you give it its own unique wallet address. Just like that, what was dormant value is now a brand new tradable asset. You could package it as an NFT, use it as collateral. The point is, no value is ever really lost. It's just recaptured and put right back into circulation.
Which brings us right back to where we started. We're here to answer that frustrating question, what do I do every single day? And this final section is the answer, your daily funding blueprint.
This table just lays it all out, plain and simple. You've got 3 main jobs every day. First, value creation. Your action is to attest and write to commercial facts. The outcome, you generate new capital. Second, capital readiness. Your action is to make sure all your capital is liquid ready. The outcome, your funds are always available to move. And third, reporting. Your action is to back up everything you do with data. The outcome, you turn those actions into real, tangible assets.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful goal. The whole point of this daily blueprint is to circulate what you have. Keep your value in motion, both in the physical world and in the digital one.
So we'll end with this thought. All the resources, the assets, the potential, it isn't something you need to go out and find. According to this strategy, you already have 99.9% of what you need to get going. So the only real question left is, what are you going to implement tomorrow?